Hello everyone and welcome back to Coach Craig's Sports. Today is Tuesday, July 5th, and this is the MLB DFS video for today. So in this video, we'll be taking a look back at yesterday's picks, seeing how they turned out. Talking about my core plays for today, I believe it's a 12-game main slate overall, so a very large slate overall, and then going over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talking about my top GPP stacks for today. But without further ado, we'll get started with a recap of yesterday's picks. At the pitcher position, we had Taijuan Walker at $8,900. Got to 46 points, so he was a hit. And the second overall pitcher on yesterday's slate, the only guy that was ahead of him was Chris Flexen, who had pretty bad history versus the Padres, but panned out yesterday, unfortunately. Then at first base, we had Jose Abreu at $3,100. Got to 27.9 points. He was a hit in the top first baseman overall in yesterday's slate. At third base, we went with Chris Bryant at $3,100. Got to 6 points, so he was a push yesterday. Not anybody that helped us, but not anybody who hurt us at the same time. And then in the outfield, we have my boy Austin Slater at $2,600. Got to 9 points, so I did give him a hit since he was a paydown option overall. And then last but not least, we had CJ Cron at $3,900. Got to 18.7 points, so he was a hit as well. I believe he was like the fifth overall first baseman on yesterday's slate, but obviously did hit a home run, so he did pay off yesterday overall. So with that being said, pretty solid core here. If you had some other decent picks to go alongside this, you probably did really well yesterday. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to the core picks for today. So we're going to start off at the pitcher position once again. There's a few guys I like on this slate. I personally went with Michael Kopech at $8,300. Just a little bit of a cheaper price spot for him, averaging just under 26 points per game on the season. But the upside that he does offer is very, very high. We tried to do it the last time out. Didn't quite pan out, but still has the same opportunity today against the Twins. Has pretty good but limited history versus them in his career. So I definitely don't have a problem going back to him today. If you want to pay up for a guy like Luis Garcia or Nick Pivetta, you could definitely do that. If you want to pay down a couple $100 to Yusei Kikuchi in a good matchup against the Oakland A's, you could definitely take that chance as well. And then at first base, we got Nate Lowe. He's $2,900, averages just under 9 fantasy points per game on the season. He's been hitting the ball pretty well as of late. Goes against the Baltimore Orioles today and Austin Vuth. He is 1-for-1 versus him in his career, and that one hit is a home run. So definitely offers a ton of upside today, although it is a small sample size versus Vuth overall. Then at second base, we're going to go with Jose Altuve at $4,100, averaging about 12 fantasy points per game on the season. 10 for 26 with one home run versus former teammate Zach Greinke, who is pitching today for the Kansas City Royals. Greinke's been pitching a little bit better since he came back from the IL, but we'll see how that all pans out today against his former team, since the Astros do have a very potent offense overall. If you don't want to go with Jose Altuve, if you want to pay down a little bit at this spot, you could also look at Colton Wong at $3,000. Then at third base, we got Jace Peterson, $2,600. Not a guy that you typically hear too much around here, but averaging just under 8 fantasy points per game on the season. Getting a little bit more playing time once again. He's 8 for 19 with 2 home runs for Kyle Hendricks in his career. I believe one of those home runs was earlier this year as well. Kyle Hendricks has pitched against this Milwaukee Brewers team 3 times this year. Obviously, the opening day start was pretty good, but the 2 times since then have not been very good by any means. So Jace Peterson does offer some upside today. He's also one of those guys you just got to make sure he's in the starting lineup before lock, obviously. Then last but not least, we have Cedric Mullins in the outfield. $3,400, averaging about 10 fantasy points per game on the season. Goes against the Texas Rangers. And Spencer Howard today. He's 1 for 2 versus him in his career with 1 home run. So definitely offering some pretty good upside there. Kind of been a little bit hit or miss lately with the bat. So could be a play that turns out very well. Could be a play that doesn't end up as well. But I do like the upside overall today. But with that being said, if you go with the 5 guys that I do have listed, you're out $13,700 per player, just over $3,400 per player. If you want to pay up for a guy, definitely can do it. Value is a little bit tighter today. There's not as many good value picks as there are on some other slates. That's kind of how we ended up on guys like Jace Peterson today, but could be a little bit worse as well since it is a 12-game slate. There should be a bunch of different options out there. Maybe somebody ends up starting that we weren't expecting, and they're a cheap pay down option, and we can open up some value elsewhere as well. But with that being said, we'll get moved over to my article over at WeBetATS.com and talk about my top GPP stacks for today. So the stacks that I do have for today, we have the New York Yankees going against Mitch Keller. Mitch Keller has very limited history versus them. It's actually been pretty good, but it's the Yankees offense versus, a relatively ineffective young pitcher overall. Mitch Keller could have some upside, but once again, Yankees offense too hard to ignore today. Aaron Judge is somebody I do like at $4,000 and a little bit of a pay down spot as well. And then we move over to Milwaukee Brewers. As I mentioned when I was talking in my core picks, Kyle Hendricks has pitched against them 3 times so far this season. First start of the year, very good. The other 2 starts, not so good. So Brewers definitely have a lot of good history. First, Kyle Hendricks, and a lot of upside overall today, whether it's a Colton Wong, whether it's a Jace Peterson, Christian Yelich, Andrew McCutchen, Rowdy Tellez, whoever you want to play pretty much from this Brewers team, you could play on today's slate overall. Then we do have the Astros going against their former teammate, Zach Greinke. Not a lot of history there, if I'm being completely honest, but the guys that have hit him pretty well in the past. He doesn't have that elite stuff anymore, so definitely could be a good advantage for this Astros team overall. Then last but not least, we have the Los Angeles Dodgers going against German Marquez. A decent amount of these hitters have hit him pretty well in the past, so definitely do not have any problems going to the Dodgers once again today. But with that being said, these are my core 5 picks as well as top GPP stacks for today, July 5th. As always, if you have any questions related to MLB DFS, be sure to leave them down in the comments below and I'll get back to you as quickly as possible. Also, be sure to let me know your favorite play on tonight's slate, whether it's someone from my top GPP stacks, whether it's someone from my core 5 picks, or whether it's a completely different player that you guys think I missed. Definitely interested in hearing what you have to say. But with that being said, if you're new to my channel, please consider subscribing. Definitely would appreciate it. Helps to build the community that we're trying to build here at Coach Craig Sports, which is one that's truly for you, the viewers, helping you with your DFS. Mainly MLB at this point in time, but once we get back around to the NFL and NBA regular seasons, I will be covering those 2 sports as well. And then with that being said, if you're a new or current subscriber who's yet to do so, also be sure to hit that notification bell down below. It's going to let you know every single time I post up a new video. Like I've been saying, I post up daily MLB DFS videos just like this. But with that being said, that's all I have for today's video. Hopefully you all enjoyed. And then last but not least, special shout out to each and every one of you watching today's video. I truly do appreciate you taking the time out of your day to watch this video. Definitely means a lot to me, and I hope each and every one of you has a great rest of your day.